Hey YouTube, Geezer here. Sorry for the late start. Playing some MOTD, which is um, damn it. Sorry. So it's all Loki. 80% cooldown reduction, infinite mana. And it's not that great. So, I'm going to talk about women instead. Basically, warn you off of them. Because, you know, I don't know, I feel it's kind of my responsibility, having been through some pretty rough patches. Yeah, hopefully maybe some people can learn from my mistakes. But, so yeah, women, from a very young age, they are taught how to manipulate men, right? I mean, hypergamy is a word you've probably never heard. But it basically just means, you know, women who marry out of their kind of, I don't know, class, if you want to call it that. But, shit, what am I looking for? Here we go. That is the minute. But they marry above, like, their, you know, out of their league, so to speak. It's like, you know, you taught from, you know, little girls, oh, you're going to grow up to marry a doctor, right? You're going to marry a lawyer, whatever. That's hypergamy. It's like you're not going to be stuck in this mobile home forever because you're pretty. You know, it's one of those... It's one of those things that, you know, that's just the way it works. You know, that's how the, you know, women are taught in this country. That's how you get ahead in life. You know, at least that's, you know, the way it has always been, so to speak. I mean, you could argue that's not quite, you know, the case anymore as far as women being told that, and that's true in some cases. I mean, you know, there's definitely a thing where you know, a whole, you know, feminism, whatever. But I mean, that really hasn't changed anything, right? Women are still basically out to take advantage of the kind of social economic society that we have that is highly in favor of men, or of women, sorry. Definitely not of men. You know, the court systems are extremely biased towards women. You know, I mean, a man in a divorce is screwed. I mean, that's just all there is to it. There's, you know, women can, without any kind of proof, you know, required, say, well, he abused me. You're going to jail. That's all there is to it. So, and then, in addition to that, yeah, she'll absolutely take him to the cleaners financially, because she can. So even the, you know, oh, you go girl kind of mentality of you know, the whole feminist thing, it doesn't, it's not like, oh, we don't need men, we don't want their money. It's, we're going to destroy you. We're going to take all of your money because we can. So, you know, just because, you know, women are going to college more than men, women are graduating college more than men, that doesn't mean women don't have the very easy path to take advantage of men, to use them for financial gain. So, and they do. Why wouldn't you, right? I mean, society says it's, you know, that's what you should do. Oh, if you're a man, you know, you man up and you take care of a woman, you have kids, you know, you do these things because that's what you're supposed to do. And if you're a woman, you learn to manipulate men to get what you want out of them, you know. And if you don't agree with that, when was the last time that you know, that some, you know, that you didn't hear, oh, you know, should a man pay for the date, or should a woman? You know, I mean, that one's a no-brainer, right? You know, oh, of course the man's gonna pay for the date. You know, that's, I mean, I'm a woman. You know, it's just like, it's, yeah. So it's there. I mean, if you don't recognize it, you're just blind. But so like, so yeah, women are taught to take advantage of men. You know, they hide themselves with makeup. They hide themselves with whatever, in an effort to do so, right? Got to trick the man into falling for them. Now, there's different stages of this, right? So early on in the woman's life, meaning like high school and college, she's going to be, you know, riding the alpha male, right? You know, tall, dark, and handsome. Mr. Tall, Dark, and Handsome is who she's after, right? Because that's who she's physically attracted to. You know, may have a lot of money, come from money, whatever. You know, that's the golden ring, right? So then, you know, late 20s into your 30s, whatever, it becomes obvious that, you know, you missed the golden ring. You know, your looks have gone downhill. You weren't able to catch the alpha. So at that point, you have to settle for a beta, right? Now, if you're a beta, and most men are, and there's nothing to be ashamed about that. You know, I mean, I wasn't born, you know, 6'4", tall, dark, and handsome with a trust fund. I mean, I definitely fit into that category. You know, to recognize it simply empowers you to understand, you know, what you're up against. That's all. So. So yeah. Now betas are where women go when, like I said, they can't get the alpha. They've missed their chance. They're older. Their biological clock's starting to tick. You know, it's like, you know, they start thinking about having kids and stuff like that. So now all of a sudden, you know, they realize, and they call it time to settle down, right? You know, need to, you know, think about settling down, and that means they've missed their chance with the alphas. So now they have to not settle down, but settle for the betas, right? These are the guys that, you know, not necessarily like losers or anything like that. I mean, they're not, you know, all virgins and, you know, sitting in their mother's basement, but they certainly weren't the guy that was, you know, that was getting all the women they wanted either. So, you know, they were the betas are, you know, there to fill in that role, you know, of provider. Give them the stable home, you know, because the betas, you know, they're betas. They're not going to leave them. You know, they've been, you know, all their life been looking for a woman, and society's taught them that, you know, that's what you do. You take care of women. So they settle down with a beta. They settle for a beta, and the beta's happy to provide that service because now he's having sex on a regular basis. Blah blah blah. The problem comes in the marriage contract, right? Well, the biggest problem. Because a marriage contract is essentially an agreement between the woman and the government to split your shit should she decide she gets tired of you, or just doesn't want to be with you for any reason. So there's literally no benefit. The only benefit you'll ever hear is like, oh, well, provides a stable home for the kids. What? Why are you even talking about having kids? I mean, just because society says have kids, get married and have kids, that doesn't mean it's the right thing. So, you, yeah, it kind of blows me away that men just kind of fall for that. The thing is like if she decides she wants somebody else, she can just go file for divorce and be done with it, right? Take half your income for as long as it takes till she either gets remarried or one of you dies, right? That's the assumption you have to work under, because that's alimony. That's the way it works. It isn't always awarded to that extent, but that's the assumption that you have to work under, is that it's going to be. You have to be willing to take the risk. And think about it this way, for men in marriage. The best possible outcome for that man is that nothing changes. That's it. That is the grand prize winner, lottery, jackpot winner, 1 in a million dude. For them, nothing changes. That's as good as it gets. However, when you do that, you are assuming a huge amount of risk, right? So what's the point again? Why would you get married? Why would you accept that contract? It's a business contract. Look at it for what it is. It's not, you can't fall into the emotional trap of like, oh, I love her, she loves me, we're going to get married and have, No, marriage is a legal document. That's all it is. It is just an agreement between you and the state of what's going to happen should you go separate ways. That's what marriage is. It's like, that's all it is. That's where you have to look at it. And men are completely subject to what is called draconian, which is very harsh or severe treatment at the hand of our court system. So to voluntarily enter into a marriage is just financial suicide, right? It's Russian roulette, and the woman never has to pull the trigger. It's just you click, 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 and someday she may get she may become tired of you or bored with you or whatever, and she's gone and she's taken your money with her. Now, here's the thing, and if you piss her off, okay, if she becomes vindictive, now at that point, now you've got a real problem, because now she can call and say, well, you abused her. Now remember, there is no proof required that you have abused her, only the accusation. That's all that matters. You will be in jail, period. No ifs, ands, or buts. All it takes is the accusation. And then, so more and more there's a movement. It's not really even a movement. I mean, it's just a thing. It's called MGTOW, M-G-T-O-W, men going their own way. And what it is just men realizing what's going on and how they're being used. Basically, they call them success objects, right? Women say they're sex objects. Men are success objects. Women, ride the, they call it riding the carousel. I won't be too crude, but the rooster carousel, we'll call it, which is all the alphas who are, having, different women every night through high school and college and everything. And when they can't land that, they go for the beta. They jump off the carousel because they're getting old and wore out. They got to find that man, right? It's time to have a baby. It's time to fulfill those things. But I mean, they don't have any money. That if they have a career, it's not, great because they've been partying and whatever. So they find the man with a good job, the house and the cars and blah blah blah, whatever. And at that point, the man, the beta, are like, oh my God, women are interested in me all of a sudden. These 30-ish women. But they're not really interested in you. They're interested in what you have to offer them. And the sooner you accept that, the sooner that you can use it to your advantage. You can kind of date them, but kind of playing their games against them and just use them for sex or whatever. But never ever marry them. And you'll know, because within a year, 2 years tops of not proposing, they will break up with you, because they're looking for that beta who's going to kind of love at first sight and be proposing within 6 months. That's what they want. That's what they need, right? They need that sense of security and financial stability, somebody to give that to them. or somebody they can take it from. Should they, 'cause a lot of times, women will marry men purely, because they know they've got a pension, they've got these different things, they've got a 401k, they've got the house. They'll marry him, stay with him a couple of years, with a plan from the start to divorce them, take their shit, and go, and it buys them some time to find a better man. Don't be that guy. Just don't get married. MGTOW, men going their own way. It's really, until this whole court system stabilizes and actual, equality is achieved at some point, on the legal side, it's all risk. There's no benefit. Do not get married. I mean, it's as simple as that. I mean, you can go to the extreme and not even date, not even subject yourselves to their game. And that's like, kind of the full-on MGTOW, right? It's like, whatever. I've got an internet connection, I've got all the porn I could want, and now I've got my own house, I have no debt, I have all these things, I can do what I want, I can travel if I really want to, have women. I'll go to Thailand for a couple of weeks and just bang my brains out, can do whatever, right? And that a lot of men are turning in that direction because they realize that women in the Western culture, U.S. and Europe and Australia, they are trained to use men from birth, basically, and you need, as a man, to bow out, say, no, I'm not playing the game, whatever, you do what you want, and then the women have to settle for the omegas at that point, right? That's the third class of man. This is the man you see with his YouTube channel saying, holding the sign, says, I'm a feminist because all men are rapists. And it's a dude holding the sign who's never even had sex, let alone raped anyone. And he is there purely for the use of these women. They will take him as a last resort because he's just a complete milksop. Will do whatever he's told. And women don't really want that. Feminists will try and convince you that they want a submissive man who will, just respect her and bow down to her. But I think that even, they grow out of that, except for the really, really die-hard, bull-dyke type lesbian butch chicks. Other than them, women generally grow out of the whole feminism thing. It's a young woman's thing for the most part. Then they realize that, that men aren't bad. Men are actually like a really, really useful asset. They can take advantage of them very easily. And at that point, they're like, well, yeah, men suck anyhow, so I can take them for all they're worth, and they deserve it. And the sooner you realize that, and hopefully you realize that before I did, before it's like one of them, them cases of, like a thing, where you have to lose $300,000 plus, like I have, before you learn this lesson. So if I, go look in YouTube, Introduction to MGTOW or Intro to MGTOW by Sandman. It's a really good place to start. And just start getting some information. Learn how women work. So, worst case, even if you are going to, find, you do want to have that long-term relationship, that's fine. But at least go and educate yourselves and learn how to identify when a woman is shit testing you. That's basically seeing how much shit you'll put up with, right? What is their, like a toddler, right? They're gonna push you and push you and push you and see what your point is, where that breaking point is, so they know in the future what they can and can't get away with. And it's literally just identifying and setting, kind of setting you up as the male, and they know what you'll, exactly how much you'll put up with. And what the breaking point is. The problem is just because you reach a breaking point, you may say, screw this, I'm over it, we're done. She's like, okay, fine, because she's gonna take half your shit. That's just, it's like, and that's just a start. If alimony can be for life, right? So it's not just taking half your shit, but it's taking half of all your future income. Do not fall for it. So, yeah, go your own way. Be your own man. Don't fall for any of the shit that these women put you through. I don't blame the women. I don't hate women. I just hate what they're able to do to us with societies, like full cooperation. I think women just, when things change to the point where women realize that they can't, that playing these games and just, just taking men to the cleaners is changing men as a whole and preventing them from committing and preventing them from getting married and stuff. It's gonna take that on a huge scale before women realize that, it's like they have to decide what they want. Do they want to be, a wife and a mother and have, that kind of family, the nuclear family? Do they want that? Or do they just, want to be, have the career and be 50 years old with their cats and take care of themselves and lose the in-between, lose pretending you want to be the wife and the mother and the family just so you can take advantage of the man. Once that is all kind of resolved, then maybe things will go back to the way they were back in the day, the 50s and 60s, whatever. And even then, it was still going on. I mean, obviously, it's like, that was a thing. Women hypergamy has always been around forever. It's like I have to trick a man who's, who can make my life better into taking me, into marrying me. That will never change. But, when the courts stop siding with women so heavily, it won't be as big of a risk, and and then maybe it won't be as bad of a deal for men. But for right now, the way that society, and it's only getting worse currently, it's just not worth the risk. It's just not. So sorry for going on for so long, but it's an important topic, and if you're that 20-year-old guy in college, whatever, now's the time, man. Get your shit together, get your life together, have that home and the cars and no debt and whatever. And the best thing you can do if you want to get women is absolutely ignore them. Oh my God, it so cripples their kind of, where they derive their self-worth is how much attention men pay to them, right? I mean, you look at a woman and she notices you looking and she all feels great or whatever. If you just completely ignore her, she's like, oh my God, what's wrong with me? Am I not pretty enough? Blah, blah, blah. And then it's like a challenge to get you. At that point, whatever, have sex with her and dump her. I know it's cruel, but that's what they do to us. And then they get a huge financial gain from it to boot. So, screw them. Alright, bye.